We're back. We're continuing with our GEB coverage. We're still sitting at Global Expo, having a chat with different stakeholders. And next to me, I've got Mr. Josh Wilson. If you're shocked that I said Mr. Josh Wilson, it's just to flatter him for the moment. I generally call him Josh from GVP, Global Venture Partners. If you've noticed, lately we've had a lot of presence. We've been seeing Botswana appearing on Times Africa. We've been seeing Botswana appearing on Robb Report. And there's a gentleman, Josh, who has had a lot to do with that. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
How are you doing?
It's great to see. Why are you talking about you talking for the first time? I've known you so well. We're like best friends.
I was trying to be
formal.
formal.
Look amazing.
Thank you. I was trying to be formal here, Josh.
No.
Don't take my mask away.
What a waste of time. We've seen the chaos.
Oh, definitely. Nice to have you around.
It's always a pleasure.
Nice to come here. How are you finding Botswana now? Just these past couple of days?
Listen, I don't even know. It's my 6th time, 7th time here, isn't it? Listen, I think it's fantastic. We were rolling through the CBD today, and every time I come back, there seems to be new stuff happening. There's new foundations being built. And it just makes you more excited about it. This is not to say anything negative about South Africa or any other town. I was in South Africa for a couple of days. Completely different matrix, different scope of society. And I come here and it's just this completely different vibe. It feels safer, it feels energetic, it feels emerging. And the leadership here, I just feel is fantastic. And President Abu Baka said a really good point. The only thing that stops government is government. And I think especially with BITC, I feel it's been more empowered recently. I think it's going to be really exciting to see what can get done. Actually get done. And we're really excited about that as an organization, and we feel Botswana can be a shining example.
That's great. And I mean, one of the key words that has been coming out strong today is collaboration, partnerships, and we've recently got into a partnership, strategic partnership with GVP. If I start saying global event, I literally start getting tongue-tied.
The acronyms.
So we've got into that. And, I just want to let's touch on that. Let's have a quick chat about that. I mentioned big name, media houses in this regard. So what is this partnership about? What does it entail?
And I'm glad you asked. This is really important because if you don't understand the concepts of investment and branding and the growth of a society, it's very difficult to understand this deal. So, for example, you look at a place like France or the United States. You think of France, what do you think of? Paris, city of love. You think of the branding, the champagne, the chocolate, all these different things. That's all branding. Those are the key elements that turn something into something else.
You talk of French cuisine.
French cuisine, 100%.
Definitely.
You go to Paris, however, there's rats running all over the place. This is not to disrespect Paris. I'm just saying it's not just like this utopia. But they branded it so well. And I think that's an amazing thing. That says something about the Americans. I was in New York with the UN a couple of weeks ago. They said it's a city that never sleeps. Everything was shut at 10 p.m. Everything. I'm in Midtown walking around trying to get something to eat. Everything's shut. But yet they brand is a city that never sleeps.
Actually, you say that because that was my experience in New York. I was like, wait,
it shuts.
It's shut down.
It shuts down. And I'm like Dubai is not branded that way. Dubai actually doesn't sleep.
It's very much alive.
And so when I look at Botswana, what House of Botswana is trying to do, organic luxury. There's this idea of sustainability whilst you're having functional growth and development. You're seeing all this inward investment and the spurt of commercialization of business. That's important. I don't want to digress too much off the point though. When it comes to us, we wanted to provide $12 million in value, which is around 160 million kula, right? When people think about investment, they think, oh, well, Josh, you could have given like $1 million in cash, for example. But understand, you give $1 million in cash, 300,000 of that goes on marketing anyway. So if you people often, generally, that's the rule of thumb for an investment. So people oftentimes forget what the scope of this is. And I said to Kels in the room, if we give you $12 million of media value, I promise you're going to get $12 billion of investment from somewhere else.
Truth.
And that's the scope of what we look at. If people start knowing what Botswana is doing, people need to make up their own mind about investment. They cannot feel forced. They cannot feel pressured. They need to feel like it's the right money. The only way to do that is if people know the great things that are happening in this country. All the time, and it's been happening for decades, but no one has known.
And when you're coming at it from a nation brand perspective, one of the key drivers of investment is people knowing the country, people relating to the country, and to relate to the country is to sell the story of the country. You put it out there, create that awareness, and there's so much about Botswana that can be told. One thing I know is that they know about the wildlife, which speaks to not only the wildlife but the conservation and so forth. Our diamonds are known, but our people need to go out there, and so many other opportunities. So then how do we unpack that? When you look at the partnership that we've gotten into, how will the partnership allow us to unpack that?
No, absolutely. I think that we often forget from a society standpoint that Botswana has tons of innovators, it has tons of entrepreneurs, it has people that can do amazing things. We want to make sure that those people are enabled and people know about them. I found out about this amazing company recently out of Kenya, we'll go on nameless for the sake of this, who do cold storage, right, for agriculture. It's a massive thing that's needed across the continent, Nigeria, all these other places. No one knows about them. I found out about them through an article in The Citizen in Tanzania, randomly, because obviously the Swahili link. That's the only reason I knew about them. I wonder how many fantastic and innovative companies are in Botswana that could also be selling their services or products in Algeria, in Kuwait, in Angola, in Nigeria, and all these other places. So when we think about the amplification of a country and a place, it means that we're paying specific focus as to what is going on. It's not something we're out here trying to write puff pieces or hit pieces. We want to see exactly what's happening on the ground and make sure everyone knows that. And that's how we turn it into a space that's not just a normal kind of jurisdiction that, you know, is historically just relied on diamonds for its economic growth. No, we want to turn it into a place that people look at. They want to come for tourism. They want to come for investment. They want to come to build homes. They want to come to build luxury residences. And with that, that then ends up being a massive catalyst for Botswana empowerment, is what I call it. In the UAE, the note is emiratization, right? And that's what is really important. So out of everything that we do, that ends up being at the forefront of our mission, making sure that we empower Botswana and Botswanans across as many different verticals as possible.
Can I give you a bit of a lesson?
Of course.
Botswana.
Yes.
Botswana.
Botswana. Okay. All right. We're going to have to break this down properly. Botswana is the people.
Single. Me.
Singular.
I'm a Botswana.
Fantastic. See, this is why I love to know. It's the little things you learn every time you talk to us. It's absolutely brilliant. Botswana. Plural.
B-A. Botswana. That's plural.
Okay. See?
So
beautiful. I love it.
I was like, I'm gonna get him on this. But you see now, like it's just saying this, all these opportunities, and you know, I'm looking at this and I'm like, right now on Friday, as part of Global Expo, we're gonna be looking at the creative sector. We have got the Billboard editor-in-chief coming through, and you know, which is absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'm wondering to myself, what opportunities can our creatives look for with that? I know there's a lot that can be learned, definitely, that can be learned from the presence of the Billboard editor-in-chief.
I mean, Yati Kamala is a genius. That's why we hired him. I mean, we feel like he's absolutely fantastic. He's been doing an amazing job. When we look at the music sector globally, all we see is our people doing amazing things. Whether that's of the diaspora, whether that's people on the continent. We have some of the fastest growing music genres on the continent. In the United States, our people have done an amazing job at creating genres and heralding genres that oftentimes goes overlooked and unnoticed. And with that, I think one of our biggest issues, similarly on the continent, is making sure the commercial attribution stays with us. That's why obviously the Botswana government is working on this deal with De Beers, for example. It's in the public domain now. We need to make sure what we're looking at from a creative standpoint is that people have an understanding of how to market themselves in the music industry to keep their IP, which is deeply, deeply important. And then rather than focusing on selling that off, unless it's a really strong deal that's in their benefit, and it's not just a get rich quick scheme or the get cash quick scheme, to focus on creating an ecosystem, and they're focusing on live performance, they're bringing in IP, at least that's what really ends up making money for music, but it's a mid-term plan. People oftentimes in the old days went for the short-term plan. They used to get $1 million from the record label, and then that was it, right? And then they have to pay the record label back for all of these,
for all the investment that they made in them.
It's unbelievable, these 360 deals. And then if they did another deal, for anyone else did a deal with Botswana Craft, for example, then the record label has to make money from that deal too.
Oh yes.
So it's like, so you people
and
forget.
Sometimes you're stuck in a recording contract you can't get out of because they're expecting so much out of you, and if you haven't honored that, and it's all about awareness and knowledge and understanding. And I think also, you know, I'm hoping that he can also speak, and talk about commercialization, speak to things like streaming now, where all our music is going onto online platforms, and you know, we're able to, you know, it's easy to access the music, but what about on the business end? You know, 100%. Those are the kind of things that we're looking forward to. And this is also coming through because of our partnership with GVP, and you know, we bring in Billboard on board. So we have Billboard Africa, right, from the partnership.
Billboard for Africa, that's right.
We've got Time Africa, Robb Report. Have I left out anything else?
Well, we have Rolling Stone as well, but that's a West Asian and North African audiences predominantly. We cover the globe, but it's generally for those audiences.
It's generally for those. So in this partnership brings a lot of, I think, more especially for the creative sector. I think 100%. Our creatives tend to benefit a lot from this.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, but Time is a publication that is old, older than Time. We've interviewed more US presidents at Time US, that is, than any other publication on earth. You know, it has a story tradition. And with that, if a company, so let's say if we put, obviously this has to be earned. If we put, you know, I've mentioned Botswana Craft already, we put a local Botswana company on Time, the valuation of that company goes up. And people forget this, these things, the actual power that we had to be able to create a catalyst from this. And that's what's so exciting. So outside of just entrepreneurship and just outside the creative industries, what we're able to do is then create a catalyst for businesses, which creates a catalyst for the country as well. And these are the things we look to merge together to create something that can truly stand out from a continental and global standpoint.
Oh, wow. There is, I could sit with you, Josh, and we could talk for hours, because when you talk about unpacking the Botswana story, the opportunities that we can get from just telling the Botswana story, and you know, my love sits with my country, my blood is blue. But I think for now, I will catch up with you later. You are here for a few more days. I think we'll have a chat again after the creative day activities have taken place, just to catch up on how. 99.9% chance. I might just decide to go red.
I love it.
But thank you for coming by. I know we're together here. We'll chat again after the creative day.
Anytime for you.
Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you. We'll be back later. There's a lot of activity going on at Global Expo. As you can hear, opportunities are being all over the place. If you're not here, please make your way to Global Expo right now. It's $50 to get in, and you get to experience the stalls. The conference is already going on, and 300 Pula to attend the conference day. The creative day, guys, the hype is real. I'm now bouncing around, but it's the creatives day on Friday, the 10th of October. There'll be so much to be discussed. I just mentioned the Billboard editor-in-chief will be here. So many other platforms. Make sure you follow us on our social media platforms to know what is being discussed and what to look forward to. I'll be with you later.